Hello and welcome to the Talk with Tariro, a program that we bring to you weekly. And like I promised last week, that we will continue with our discussion on the issue of mental health, mental awareness. If we heard rightly from Zandile, mental health is actually an issue that's worrisome, and almost all of us, we've got some kind of mental issue that we are dealing with. And today we have invited Miles Jacobs. They are actually working with us in our communities, working with us in our country, where they are saying they would not want us to get to a situation where we need to get antidepressants. We need to be admitted. So they're coming up with interventions, and these interventions are actually coming after realizing that we have a problem in our hands. We have a problem in our country. Miles, welcome to the Talk with Tariro.
Thank you.
Yes. When we're looking at Miles Jacobs' wellness, your interventions on mental health, maybe unpack those for us. What exactly are you trying to achieve?
Okay, like you were saying, mental health is an issue now, globally. Yeah. And the numbers are shocking, especially in low-income earning countries. You're looking at statistics of over 1 billion people. You're looking at in low-income earning countries, you're looking at over 75% people have some sort of are not mentally stable, and they go away without any sort of treatment. So it's something we are keeping inside and it's killing us from the inside.
We don't know that this is a mental health issue that I have. And we've somehow normalized things that will lead us to then get antidepressants.
Exactly. So our programs, we started off just mainly concentrating on health and wellness without really focusing much on mental health. But we have since changed. I mean, in the past 2 years, 75% of our programs are now concentrating on mental well-being. So we have youth mentoring programs, and our programs are taking a preventative approach. We don't want to cure anything. We want to stop it before it becomes a problem.
So you want to stop it, Miles, before it becomes a problem?
Yes.
And for me as an individual, I'm watching Miles, I'm at home. What are the things that you are saying, okay, this is what we don't want to happen? I might not interact with you, I might not even approach you, but just listening to you now, watching you now, I would want to learn to then say, I think these things that I'm having, it means I'm actually mentally unstable. What are those? Maybe before even going on to the interventions that you deal with.
So before I mean, last week you had Sandley talking about different symptoms that the person can actually find out that maybe I'm not really well. Now, what people need to understand is the body is a well-designed model. It's carefully crafted. There's nothing that you're not just going to wake up and say, I didn't know I was ill. I didn't know this was happening. So let's look at stress, for example. Stress is your ability to handle the pressure. Day-to-day pressure. Like I said, like Zandile said, it can be competitive because it can push you forward. But sometimes if the overload is that much, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a big problem, because now you can't have time for your family. You can't have time for anything. You are continuously trying to meet deadlines. So like answering your question, one of the main things, if someone is at home right now thinking, okay, I am stressed, how do I go about it? You're looking at your time management. That's number one. Are you managing your time well? Because you might think you have so much work to do, but you just don't know how to deal with your time. If you're going on social media for 2 hours, surely you're losing time. But are you being productive on social media as well? So time management is the first thing that we're looking at. Then the next thing is self-development. Are you developing yourself as an individual? Are you continuously evaluating that? Am I better than the previous day? Am I better than last year? Are you planning? Do you have goals set? Are you someone who's pretty much organized, that things are not just happening, like things come up in the open before you know something is supposed to happen? We normally say, don't start the day without finishing it first. So basically we are saying never start waking up not knowing what exactly you're going to do until midnight when the day finishes, or until 5 p.m. when you finish the day. Don't start the month without finishing it first. So you need to know exactly this month, what am I trying to achieve? So you don't end up meeting people or getting involved in things that you should not be involved in. Right? And then we go on to anxiety. Anxiety, we're just worrying about tomorrow. You know, I know we have problems as a nation, we have problems as a region, and sometimes am I going to wake up tomorrow? Am I going to make those bills tomorrow? Will I be able to pay fees tomorrow? That's just anxiety. And we have to find ways as well to find out how do you handle such problems. And then the bigger problem becomes depression. Yeah. Like Sandile said, continuously feeling low, feeling helpless, feeling hopeless about yourself over a sort of like a prolonged period of time. So I don't know if I've answered you.
You
yet.
have. You have answered me. But half the time, you have explained how anxiety can move to stress, and then all these two can actually lead to depression.
Yes.
But I think the challenge that we have, maybe, is, without sounding racist, or what, I think our own race is maybe Africans.
Yes.
Is where I would then get to a situation where I can accept to say, this is now depression.
Okay.
It's actually a problem.
Okay.
I need to seek help.
Yeah.
We sometimes think we've normalized it.
Yeah.
If I may say.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to feel a certain way because everyone else is feeling a certain way.
Yes.
You've got the physical symptoms. Let's look at the physical symptoms. You've got stuff like continuous headaches or migraines. If you were not spending too much time in the sun, if you don't have a history of that, surely you should be starting to get, if you're not hydrated properly, you should also be sort of like wondering on your own, like, why am I continuously getting these migraines or these headaches? And at what time, or if I had something, what triggers these migraines? And then you've got things like back and neck problems as well. Back and neck. Have I touched something? You've got back and neck. Those are issues. Zandile spoke about insomnia, lack of sleep, difficulties falling asleep. You've got constipation. You've got unexplained diarrhea. Usually we say, okay, I just had a mango, I just had something, so I should be having diarrhea. Those are, unless if you're looking at a situation where someone is pregnant and they're about to give birth, you expect that type of diarrhea unexplained. And then obviously after they've given birth, you also expect a period of where they're going through situation, they have constipation and diarrhea. But apart from that, there should be some sort of explanation, like, where is this coming from? And then you've got the usual symptoms, the physical, and being unstable, not feeling comfortable in your own self, not feeling comfortable in your own body. Those are things. And bouts of anger. People tell you, hey, Tari, the way you shouted yesterday, and you're like, was it really that bad? Exactly. So bouts of anger are also signs like, you can't control, you're not controlling when someone says something and then boom, you're gone. So those are some of the sort of like physical symptoms that if you're at home and sometimes you experience this, or sometimes you're shouting for no reason. But then there are also other conditions associated with those symptoms as well. For example, if someone is about to go into menopause, they can have bouts of anger. If someone is going through menopause, they can have hot flashes, they can have headaches, it's normal. So then you need the health professional to sort of like diagnose, like, okay, what is going on with me? And you need to come out, you need anything that is on the inside will kill you. You need to come up and say to someone, say to your friend, say to your doctor, say it to your mother, hey, I've been having this problem. Do you think it's a problem? Because most of the symptoms, we can work through them.
Indeed, what we are looking at today is how can we actually prevent us from getting onto that downward trend. Join us after the break. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion where we are looking at mental illness, mental wellness, particularly looking at preventing it from happening. So Miles, when you are looking at your interventions now, where you're saying you would want to deal with people so that they don't develop onto having mental health issues, what exactly do you then do?
Okay, so we've got sort of like different programs within the company. Within the organization. The first thing is our employee wellness program. So we've got what is called the EHHP, Employee Health, Happiness and Productivity Program. So it comes with a mental health evaluation there. So apart from the physical activity, the Zumbas, nutrition, diet and weight management, we also do evaluations to the employees to find out, okay, what is stopping them from performing at their full potential? How can we boost productivity of the employee? So it's welcomed by the employer because it's a win-win for both.
Yes.
So the employer is happy that, okay, my employees can now start hitting purple. By hitting purple, I mean you are performing at the highest level. And also the employee is happy that, okay, you are dealing with my issues, I had a problem, and I'm also happy to be working at my optimum. So with the EHHP, we do just the basic evaluations, looking at anxiety, stress, and depression
within the workplace.
Within the workplace. So this comes with all the our employee wellness programs, and then from there we keep it very anonymous. We don't take the names of the employees, so that at least they're as honest as possible with what's going on with them. But what has been the revolution for us is what we introduced called NICO 24 Online. So NICO 24 Online is, I'm sure you read the Bible, Nicodemus went to Jesus by night and said, how can a man be born again? So NICO is like, we discovered when you're addressing mental health issues, stressing, how to cope with stress, how to cope with anxiety, people don't sort of like raise their hands. So NICO 24, once let's say we come to your organization and we've done a corporate wellness program, we automatically register them onto NICO 24. So this allows them Nicodemously to come to us and say, Miles, you know, when you're talking about this, I have that problem, or I didn't even know it is a problem. So how can you help me? So for the next 12 weeks, they're getting that free consultation once they join, if we meet them from the corporate setting. And then you've got the youth mentoring program. We have a youth mentoring program that is, I think, it's producing amazing results.
Maybe before going on to the youth program, within the workplace.
Within the workplace, yes.
I've come to you, I'm saying, okay, these are the issues that I have. Okay, maybe I'm already like developing onto depression. What do you do to me after you have established, this is my condition, these are the issues that I have. What then happens after that?
Right, what then happens now is you then go to our transformation hub. Our transformation hub has got different one-on-one private coaching programs. So you've got your one-on-one parenting coaching, depending, because we are saying, okay, let's say the workplace is everything done for you, the medical aid.
It's not done for me. Okay. Let's look at it. My salary is delayed. Medical aid, they are deducting. It's not being paid. Funeral is deducted, but not being paid. It's all those things, and for me, they are causing me stress, anxiety. I'm almost getting to depression.
Okay, so we say there are two ways. The employer, a win-win for both, right?
Yeah.
So the employer gets a report to say, okay, listen, you have a group of 19 employees, or from our findings, from the evaluations, please address these issues at your workplace, if they can be addressed, depending on the severity of the issues. And then that employee also gets coaching from us. If it now, like you're saying, it's now something that is really, really serious, then you're going to our partners.
Because that's where we are as our people. Talking about these things at that, let's look at the reality here. You want me to not to be stressed, not to have anxiety. You don't want me to have those mental health issues, but everything around me is pushing me to that. How do I? Because for people, that's really addressing how the real situation
is on the ground.
On the ground,
Yeah, like I said, you've got issues that the employer can change. There are things that the employer can change within the workplace,
and
right?
If they can't?
Well, then if the employer can't change, then I don't know, you're working at the wrong place.
Yeah, it's wrong, and I have nowhere to go. That's the reality, man.
Like you're stuck in the wall. Like there's no other option for you. If the employer can't make the changes, if there are certain changes we expect the employer to make, if the employer can't make those changes, remember you're still getting coaching from us, right?
So how do you coach me, Miles? My salary is not enough. My child is supposed to register ZIMSEC. They want $. I'm being paid in RTGS. If I'm going to change it, it's even less. So all those things where you are saying you will not be able to sleep, I can't sleep because my child will not be able to write grade 7.
Okay, let's get there. So now everything is working within the mind, right? You need a proper reboot, a proper shift of the way you're approaching things, right? So, for example, you're saying that you don't have money because initially, okay, let's say you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And you don't have money. Let's say they're paying $50 each, right? And you get paid maybe $100. So you don't have anything. The money is just enough to take the children to school, right?
Yes.
Now, initially, when you enroll those kids at this school, were you getting paid $100? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Did you plan? Did you plan to say,
my child is
okay,
actually the cheapest school in the location, or even Kumusha, where they want $10.
okay,
The cheapest.
okay,
But the money is just not enough.
If-
So as a parent,
Uh-huh.
I'm worried. I've got rent. I've got all these things, because that's the reality that we have.
Okay.
And if we look at it, for me, that's where I then say, I think that's where all these mental health issues that we're experiencing, they are all emanating from that, because we can't cope.
I am so excited you're bringing this up. Now let's try and dissect it. Right. Look at it this way. Life is about the best use of your resources around you. Right? The best use of the resources around you. And if you look at it this way, if you are, I'm sure you've heard people talking about multiple streams of income, this and this and this, right? If the problem is purely financially centered, then you need to find other ways of making money to cater for your family.
Is it that easy?
No, it's not that easy. But if you have a salary, you can find something on the side that you can do so that you can be earning more money, instead of you sort of like stuck in a place where you're saying, okay, I have a job. Most people out there, like okay, I'll give you a good example. I had someone come to me with pretty much the same problem. They sort of like middle management status posted their workplace. But Miles, the money is not enough. I have everything I need, but all these problems are emanating from the fact that I cannot put enough on the table, right? And then I said, okay, have you thought about, let's look at how much you're earning. Let's look at where is it that we can find
all right,
space.
Miles. We will continue with this discussion after the break. I'm really hoping you will be able to solve this for us, because for most of us, all these mental health challenges that we are having, they are all emanating mainly from these bread and butter issues that we grapple with on a day-to-day basis. We'll continue after this break. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion. So Miles, you were explaining in terms of how you would then make me come up with ways or interventions in terms of how I can utilize the available resources.
Exactly. Right. So we said everything is coming from the finance side. Let's look at which is actually correct. Everything is to do with not having enough money. So I'll give you like an example. I was saying that I had someone come to me with a sort of like a middle level post, and they say, no, the money is not enough, and I'm sure that if I was to get enough money, I would have no stress, no anxiety, no depression, nothing, no problem at all. But the money is never going to be enough.
Yes.
Right? So that's rule number one. The money is not going to be enough. Let's look at the basics. What is it that you need for a person to survive? Let's look at the bottom of the hierarchy of needs, shelter and food. Right? That's where we start off, and we are going up. Now, this is what this lady told me. I said, what is it that you like? What is your life purpose? Why did God put you on this planet? Okay, I don't know, Miles. I just work. I said, okay, what is it that you can do without effort? That if I wake you up at midnight to say, do this, you'll be able to do it. She said, but I like baking cakes, and I like, I like selling. I think I can sell stuff. And I said to her, okay, fine. So what do you need to start baking a cake? What do you need to start baking cakes for people and stuff like that? I said, but because of my job, I don't think I can be that person who is selling cakes. Are you understanding where I'm coming from? Then I said, okay, fine. What about if the cooking thing, can you cook for people? Can you do catering? I don't have time. I said, okay, that's fine. Now, there was this other lady I had seen before who was selling spices. You know, those small sachets of spices. And she was saying they are 50 cents, 40 cents for a sachet. And then if you sell, you can sell them for $1 and you're making about 50% plus profit. And I told her, do you know with this business, you can do this with, let's say, $10, $20, $30, $40. And you can be selling to the people because you have a circle already. And she was like, people see me as someone who is selling spices. You see, so we as a society, as this color that we have, like you said, not being racist, we are more worried about what the next person is thinking about me. So we need a total mind shift of saying, listen, if I need to be walking where I'm driving right now, am I getting paid the $10 that I'm supposed to be paid for the fuel? Or am I just going for leisure? I can still get the combi, I can still get something cheaper, I can even walk. I've met people saying, why do you have to walk? I remember in Swaziland, a lady rushed to me. I was buying tomatoes by the market. Mr. Miles, you can't be seen by people buying those tomatoes from the street. You have to go to Pick and Pay and buy stuff like that. You understand what I'm trying to say? So let's take care of the real stuff. Look, right, without you lying to yourself, you being real to yourself, what is it that I want to achieve?
Yes.
I want my kids to go to school. I have so many people that I know who are paying for universities from methods that maybe society might not accept. People who sell maize, people who go church bargain, stuff like that, they take people to university because they are so focused about my goal is to make sure my child goes to university.
Yeah.
So we need to stop what is happening within the circle and sort of like understand exactly what do I want to achieve as a person, and what you want and what I want are two different things. So
in terms of maybe what I would now want is for us to really unpack in terms of the prevention aspect. How would you then make sure that happens?
Okay, first thing, mental well-being. If I'm to say that you're mentally sound, it's your ability to deal with, make good decisions, deal perfectly with your relationships, and to withstand any stress or any pressures that are being exerted on you. So what you need to understand is, I'm sure when I met you, when I met you the first time, I said, I never have bad days, okay? I have character building days. So what you need to understand is, whatever situation that you, I'm sorry, I always want to refer to God, but the thing is, there is no way someone can create you and look at you and say, I'm happy with what I've created, if they want you to suffer. So you need to really change your mindset to say, I'm going to be walking now, it's teaching me, at the same time I'm exercising, at the same time when I get the money, I'll know that I'm not misusing money. Be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Right. Be very honest with yourself. So there are things that you can change. Like I said, your time management. You need to learn how to manage time properly. Self-development. Those people who end up just not prepared to learn and go. Someone says, I went to this organization for 20 years. But what did you do for those 20 years? You were doing the same job. There are over 1,500 free courses online. You can be upgrading yourself, upgrade yourself, elevate yourself, so you put yourself in the best position when it starts raining, if you want to be wet.
Exactly.
So it's about creating options. Let me tell you, life is very difficult, Tari, and that difficulty will not change. But what you can change is options. Yeah. So you see these guys who are rich, the billionaires, they still wake up with problems, but they have options. I don't want to eat this, I want to eat that. I don't want to drive that, I want to drive this. And I think the most important thing is to ask yourself, right now, if you're at home, wherever you are, if I continue on this path, where will I be in 10 years? Where will I be in 5 years?
Yeah.
I normally ask my clients, if you're going to die in December, what would you change? And most of them say, I would spend more time with my family, I would do this, I would do this. So like Zandile said, create a balance.
Yeah.
Don't end up, like there are people, like you've got partners who actually work for the husband's organization without knowing that they work for because when the husband comes, he's complaining about the workplace the whole time they're at home. So the wife actually knows, oh, this happens.
Well.
Exactly. Let's be patient with people. Let's learn to open up, and before I say opening up, you have to know who you're opening up to.
Yeah, that was my next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Our circles are not as big as we think they are. I normally say people, write 3 people that you think right now, if you were in jail, if something happened, they would not say, I'll see you later, I'm at work. They would leave everything and come to you. Most people find none. Except your mom and your dad, because they're obliged to. It's their responsibility. So be very careful. Who is in your circle? Get rid of people that are not important, because they won't lead you anywhere. Who is in your circle, and can you really open up that person? Yeah. We have, especially within the corporate setting or where there's groups of people, you find someone who say, get to work and say, Atari, today I really don't feel like working. Then the next day you find that person getting so much grief from the supervisor. Who told the supervisor? You understand? Exactly. So people, be careful. You don't have friends. Understand that. Be careful who is your friend. So most people say they want friends because either you're on the same level with them or they benefit something from you. The moment you go up, those people are no longer your friends. So be careful. Guard your circle as much as you can. If you guard your circle, you're going to get good advice. You're going to learn every day, because we don't know everything. And you'll find that when you say a problem, it's easily solved, because the person will say, honestly to you, I used to have a friend, and when we go out, think it was 2004, something like that. He was the only friend, if we've made some money, who would take my wallet and say, that's enough for today. How many friends can say that? I'm saying, let's spend, let's have fun. They're like, I'm taking this, and you take it and you hide the wallet. That's it, done. We are done for the day. Yeah. We came here to have fun. This is no longer having fun. We are misusing. And we have this thing of, to cover. You won't cover anything. Yeah. Be organized like that. I don't know if I've answered you.
You really have answered me. And for someone who's just watching you and they are grappling with mental health issues, mental health concerns, what would be your message to them?
Well, my message to them is very simple. Mental health doesn't mean that you are on the streets. It doesn't mean utanda boats or anything like that. It doesn't mean that you are crazy. It doesn't make you less than the next human being. It's just that, it's a condition just like heart disease, just like a flu, just like anything. And please, if you have a problem, speak out. If you see these conditions that were spoken last...
Who am I speaking to? Because half the time, sometimes you tell people, next thing you are hearing, it has spread like wildfire.
I think it comes down to that circle again. I think you can come to, if you're coming to, there's a lot of platforms now for mental health. There are guys who are doing anonymous, Alcohol Anonymous, Problems Anonymous and stuff like that. If you feel that, you don't trust people around you, or you feel that maybe this, especially in the workplace, you're thinking like, if I say this to my boss, I might lose my job. Yes. You can reach out to organizations like us. You can reach out to, there's a lot going on social media there's groups, WhatsApp groups, there's this. You can always go and ask, but whatever you do, don't keep it on the inside. Yeah, exactly.
And how important is support for somebody who's got mental health issues? For people to really get to know, we don't need to stigmatize, we need to be there for somebody who's in such a condition.
Do you remember when HIV came on the scene, how bad it was? Yeah. I remember even within my family, we would have visitors that would come through, and one of my auntie, if she's there, they're like, don't use that plate. Don't give him that plate. Don't do that. But we've since developed as a community to understand that it's nothing. It's just a condition. And right now, with mental health, we are still where we were when we had that first issue. So please, people, be patient with people. Don't judge anyone. Support and understand that you also need support. Love as much as you can. Love as much as you can. Understand, incorporate every culture, every action. Understand that maybe this is what makes him tick. Maybe he just needs to be... If you see the sort of like how people are coming out with issues, it's amazing when you hear someone say something. Please, the moment someone says, I have this problem, rush to be the person who is supporting that person with that problem. Don't judge. We are all mentally unstable. As long as you are working tomorrow and you're thinking, is this money going to be enough? That's anxiety. We are all mentally unstable. So let's create a community that is close. Let's not go and look for quick fixes and stuff like that. Let's create a community. Someone love them, smile them. There are people, Tari, who have never had thank you in their lives. I had a lady telling me, 25 years in marriage, my husband has never stood up from the dinner table and said thank you. The food was nice. There are people we have never had, you're looking nice, my wife, you're looking nice, my friend, you're looking nice, my colleague. And it all comes down to the basics of where we grew up. I used to see my dad used to stop the next car on the street. We are in his car. He would stop and go to the next guy and say, this is a nice car, my friend. And go back in his car. Just appreciating what the next person has. If you appreciate, then you receive.
Indeed, if we appreciate, we can receive. The key message that we got from Miles there is, we are all mental health candidates in a way. If you are somebody who's breathing, has to deal with life's pressures, in a way there is always some mental health aspect that you have to deal with. So it's always important that we render an ear, we render help where we see others who might need that help. Until we meet again next week, it's goodbye.